What's up, guys? Welcome back to Monday Gunday, and welcome back to episode 13, where we will be going over the Walther PDP Pro SD. So Walther is a German firearms manufacturer that has been making firearms and air rifles for over 100 years now. It was founded back in 1886 by a man named Carl Walther. Walther Arms Inc. is the US branch that's based in Fort Smith, Arkansas. So a little history on the PDP line. It was designed back in 2021. And it was made to replace the PPQ. It was designed to be more modular than previous Walther firearms and has basically become Walther's flagship striker-fired handgun. So some quick specs on the PDP Pro SD. It has an overall length of 8.6 inches, slide length of 7.5 inches. It has a width of 1.34 inches, a sight radius of 6.9 inches. The weight is 27.9 ounces. It has a capacity of 18 plus 1 in the chamber, and the trigger weight is about 5.6 pounds. So after a little bit of history and some quick specs, let's take it out of the range and see how it shoots. What's up, guys? We are out at the range, specifically Defender Ranch, with the Walther PDP SD. So we're gonna run through our standard drills, starting with the bill drills at 7 yards. We're looking at trigger reset, bore axis, and just general controllability of the gun. Then we'll move to the 3R3. With that, we're looking at the ergonomics of the slide release, the mag release, and the mag well, just seeing how fast you can burn down a reload. Then we'll bump it back to 10 yards and run a B8. And we're focusing on the trigger again, how crisp is it, and we're gonna be looking heavily at the sights, looking at their point of aim, point of impact, and how just generally accurate you can be at 10 yards. So let's bump it back to 7 yards and start with the bill drills. All right, starting off with the bill drills. I am running it out of an MSP Flex. All right, first bill drill, stand by. So through one, just a little outside, it was a 232. Let's see if I can clean it up a little bit more. Get a little bit faster. One to the right in a 215. Let's go check those hits real quick. So through one left on my first one and then one right on my second one. But so far it feels pretty good. I really like the trigger. It has a really good reset. I like the trigger shoe a lot. It's a flat trigger. But yeah, let's see how the reloads do. Looking forward to it because it has a pretty nice looking magwell on it. All right, I'm gonna try the 3R3s now. So, stand by. Missed my shirt there, but locked back, slide release is nice, and felt pretty good all around. That one was clean. Okay, let's see if we can clean up the second one, not miss my shirt. So that time I didn't get slide lock. That was a 492. It is, now that I'm shooting it a little bit more, it is feeling like it's just ever so slightly oversprung. So if your recoil control isn't on perfect point, it might not lock back for you just like it did there, but kept those ones clean. Really like the magwell though. You can really be reckless with it when you're going fast, but let's throw a B8 up and see how we do on accuracy at 10 yards. All right, we got a fresh B8 up. I'm gonna go for this one. And right now we're just gonna focus on how crisp is the trigger, how clean can you break it at 10 yards, and the sights, what their point of impact is, just generally if they're nice, if they're not, and just focusing on accuracy. 10 shots, no time, just gonna try and make one ragged hole in the X. So let's go back 10 yards. All right, let's see how we do. Yep, no slide lock again. Let's go check that target. All right, so that's a 98, dropped 2. That was, oh yeah, sorry. So 98, dropping 2 down into the 9. I'll be honest, I didn't really prepare with this gun. This is the first time shooting it for accuracy. And my first 2 shots, I tried kind of floating it right there, just below the X, and that's where those 2 shots went. So these sights are point of aim, point of impact. They don't have any fiber optic or anything, it's just 3-dot. And once you line it up, I just put that dot right over the X, and that's where the rest of them went. I did pull that one a little bit, but really like the trigger on this one, super crisp. It's got a nice flat face on it. Resets really quick, but so far I'm a pretty big fan of this gun. So let's take it back to the armory and tally up our score. All right guys, so we're back from the range and we're gonna go over our scoring system. So it's gonna end up being out of 100, each scoring category worth 10 points. So starting off with cost, these are kind of expensive. They're around $800 to $900 MSRP, depending on the PDP that you get, specifically the Pro SD. It's gonna be around $850 to $900. So it's a little higher on the spendy side for just a striker-fired handgun, so it ended up getting a 6 out of 10 for cost. Up next is ergonomics, and I was a big fan of the ergonomics on this pistol. They have some adjustable back straps. I do really like it with the magwell. I do love when magwells add to the ergonomics. It just helps you keep a high and tight grip. So I ended up giving it an 8 for ergonomics. Moving on to trigger, I gave it an 8 as well. This has their Pro trigger, I think it's called. It's a flat face trigger and it is really nice. Has a super solid wall, a very crisp break, and a pretty quick reset. So I ended up getting an 8 for the trigger. Next is bore axis. I gave it a 7. It's pretty good, but could be better, just like all the other ones. Not quite as low as a Glock, but it's not near as high as a 320. Still very nice to shoot. It does feel a little oversprung. I got slide lock once on it when we were doing the reloads, but that's just a tuning issue. I'm sure there's lots of other aftermarket parts, which we will get into later, that you can change the spring rate on them. But yeah, for bore axis, I gave it a 7. Moving on to sights, I gave the sights a 5, just because they're kind of cheap plastic ones. No night sights, no, not even like glowing paint in them. They are a little bit adjustable from what I can see, but they're really nothing special. And for a gun that's around $900, and being an SD version that doesn't come with suppressor height sights that's optic ready, that's kind of lame, so I gave it a 5. Next up is aftermarket support. Aftermarket support for Walthers has always been strong, and it's no different with the PDP series. There's lots of different parts for them. Like I said earlier, you could definitely get a different weight spring, so you'll get slide lock more often. It might shoot a little bit better, but yeah, they've always had great support, so I gave it an 8 for aftermarket support. Up next is capacity, and this one did really well. It has 18 round magazines plus 1 in the chamber, so that's 19, and you throw an extension in there, you're good to go for capacity. It does come with 3 magazines of that capacity, so I gave it a 9 for capacity. We like high round count or high capacity handguns, especially when they're full size like this. Just kind of weird because the Q5 match was like 15 round mags, and it is pretty much the same size, so that was lame, but this is cool. 18 round mags are the move. Up next is serviceability, and I gave it an 8. It's pretty average for all the Walthers strike-fired handguns. They're just really easy to take down. This one is kind of like a Glock. You just pull down that lever after you remove the mag and depress the trigger. Slide comes off, and it's pretty much like every other striker-fired handgun. Super easy to service, so it gets an 8. Moving on to value, I gave it a 6 just because it's on the expensive side. The biggest thing that disappointed me was the sights. It's an SD version. Any other SD style gun that you're going to get is going to come with night sights, or well, either suppressor height sights that have like tritium, or they're at the very least like just some glowy paint in them. So that was kind of disappointing on a $900 gun. You're just getting plastic sights, and then it just comes with 3 mags, so it's a little bit on the spendy side for just a striker-fired handgun, but yeah, so I ended up giving it a 6. And ending on cool factor, I gave it an 8. I think it's pretty aesthetically pleasing. It looks good, it shoots really good. I like that it comes with a magwell. I like that it's 18+1 for capacity, a nice threaded barrel. But yeah, I think it's a really good gun. A little on the spendy side, but Walthers are kind of on the spendy side. That's just what comes with the name. So ended up getting an 8 for cool factor. So that brings a total score for the Walther PDP Pro SD to 73 out of 100. I'll put that in the lineup right here to see where it places. But yeah, it's a great gun. Very enjoyable to shoot. The PDP line is a great lineup of different kinds of striker-fired handguns. I know a lot of people that shoot them extremely well. But so let us know in the comment section what gun you want to see next, or if you want us to change up the series a little bit and try some other kinds of guns. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.